Okay, well, every blessing to you all. Welcome back to my weekly open air video. Due to the wind being a little too strong today, I wasn't able to go to my usual location and do my video, hence why I'm in a different location. But nonetheless, there are a few topics I want to discuss today, and hopefully it will be of some interest to you. This video really will be aimed primarily at women, unsaved women, and probably backslidden women as well to some extent. And I want to just spend a few minutes really looking at two parts of the scriptures. Genesis 3 would be a good place to start. And in Genesis 3 you see the devil talking to Eve. And I've always believed that the devil didn't just arrive overnight and start knocking on her door, but it would have been a gradual period of getting to know her, interacting with her, and we call that grooming today. That's the word that is used today, grooming. You find these online predators grooming children. Well, that's what you find really in Genesis chapter 3. The first groomer was the devil. Excuse me. And he approaches Eve because Eve was the weaker of the two vessels, according to the Apostle Paul, and women are the weaker of two vessels. That's just the way that it is. And she was deceived, and then she fell into sin. Adam came along, he fell into sin, and the Lord confronts the pair of them. But he approaches Adam first of all, because Adam was the corporate head. If you go to Genesis 5, it says their name was Adam. Eve doesn't have a name. In fact, any girl born anywhere in the world takes her father's name, and then she gets married and she takes her husband's name. If she has children, they take the father's name. That's just the way that it is. But as I say, in the 5th chapter he says that their name was Adam, so that's why he approaches Adam first of all. So he goes to Adam and he asks Adam what's happened, what's the cause of this, and what he's really wanting is Adam to confess to his sin. But Adam blames Eve, then he approaches Eve and she blames the devil. Now the devil was to blame, hence why the Lord curses the devil. But the tragedy is really that neither Adam or Eve wanted to take responsibility, and that's pretty much how it still is today. When you speak to unsaved people, they try to move the goalpost, they try to compare themselves with other people and say, well, he said this or she said that, or he did this, he did that, or this happened or that happened. They won't take responsibility for themselves. They seek to bring other people into the equation, anything really to escape the penalty of their sins, really. And here we are, thousands of years later, nothing much has changed. But the bottom line really to get from the 3rd chapter of Genesis is the devil's grooming, seduction and corruption of Eve. And this video will be called Corrupted, because what happened with Eve happens with women every single day. Eve started out pretty good. She wasn't sinless, but she was a good woman. But due to a period of time, due to the devil's subtlety, he corrupted her and she fell. Matthew chapter 1, you find a reverse of that. In Matthew chapter 1 you find Joseph, a good man, a type of Christ also, who gets engaged to Mary and doesn't bed her, but he weds her. A good man will always wed his wife, he won't bed her. A good man will always wait for his future wife until the wedding night. He won't try to bring that wedding night forward, he won't seek to corrupt her. And in Matthew 1, Mary is found with the Lord Jesus, of course, and under the law he had the right to divorce her and even to put her to death. But he was a good man and he chose not to do so. And of course you know the rest. The Lord speaks to Joseph and tells Joseph to take Mary to be his wife, and doesn't know her until she brings forth her firstborn son. And then of course intercourse takes place, so on and so forth. He's a good man, and Joseph is a type of the sort of guy that all saved men should adhere to be like. He waited until she brought forth her firstborn son, didn't touch her, didn't go anywhere near her until the wedding night, which is how it should be. Whereas the devil from Genesis 3 is corrupting her, and he's saying to her that you can be like gods. And of course she falls, she succumbs to it, she was weak. But this corruption happens every single day. Guys will push women to do things which they wouldn't normally want to do, and they will be pressured into doing certain acts which they wouldn't normally do. It's the male corruption of the female. Now I appreciate completely that women can also corrupt men. I'm not naive to that fact, but coming at this subject from the biblical position shows me that the women are spoken of as the weaker of the two, and therefore the man of God is expected to look over his wife, to provide for her. And like I say, if you are a saved man, you should adhere to be like Joseph, not like the devil from the 3rd chapter of Genesis. These women that get corrupted from, could be a young age, could be from a partner that they got involved with, could even be within a family unit. That corruption only deteriorates until the new birth. But even at the new birth, sometimes it's hard for women that get saved later in life to completely live the life which the Lord would have them to live. And Proverbs 31 is a great case of how a godly woman should be. I present to you that Matthew 1 would be how a man should live if he's saved, and Proverbs 31 is how a woman should live once she's saved, the ideal godly woman. But my main thoughts really on this video, I guess, would be to say that if you aren't saved and you are in a relationship with some guy and you are living a life of sin, then you need to come out of it, because if he loves you, he will put a ring on your finger, and if he doesn't love you, then get rid of him and come back to the Lord. That's if you're saved. That's if you're backslidden, of course. If you're not saved, then you're lost, in which case you need to be saved. But as I say, this could be a feed really into my last video on the call for purity, because once you get into any kind of sin, it's difficult to get out of it. And even if you do get out of it, your testimony has been tarnished and you become worthless in many ways. So you need to confess that and come back to the Lord. But my real burden, I guess, is for the women that are being corrupted on a daily basis and taken advantage of. And these guys are simply getting self-gratification from these women, and they don't love these women. They are simply abusing them and using them for their own purposes. And as I say, women do it with men as well. So we also know that 2 wrongs don't make a right. But if you are saved, if you are a man, seek to be like Joseph from Matthew 1. If you are a woman and you're saved, seek to be the perfect godly woman. Not sinners, of course, but seek to be the ideal woman from Proverbs 31. If you're not saved, you're lost, and you're living a life of immorality. And the book of Hebrews says that the Lord would judge whoremongers. So this won't be a very long video, just a short, straight to the point video. It's a video of concern to me, a video that I wanted to make, and just to say that the Lord would judge these people. He judged the devil from Genesis 3 for corrupting Eve, and he will judge men that are corrupting women, girls, on a daily basis, whether it's in the marriage, whether it's in a pre-marriage relationship, or whether it's even in a child's youth. However way you wish to approach it, but he will judge these people. Nobody's going to escape the judgment of God. So that's all I want to say. Couldn't do an open air video today. It was a little too windy, but here I am nonetheless making a video, and I hope you're all blessed. Maranatha.